My pleasure right now to welcome to the KSYM studios Jamie Lin Wilson. Welcome, Jamie.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
Oh yeah, it's always a pleasure. One of the things I love about this radio station is artists can come in and make live art and talk about what they're doing. Now, and you're going to be at the Thirsty Horse Saloon
Yes,
tonight, right?
I have never played there before. This will be my first trip over there.
It's at 2335 Northwest Military Highway. So there you have it. You're opening for Wade Bowen?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Wade's a good friend of mine, so whenever we have a chance to play some shows together, then we do it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And you're working with a new record? Where is it?
Yeah, I've got. I just saw it in your hand.
Jumping Over Rocks. We've actually been playing music you've been involved with for several years. You were with Side Hill Gougers and the Gougers and the Trishas.
Yes, sir.
So talk a little bit about what you're doing now in making, moving from established groups and then, doing kind of a solo thing.
Well, the thing about all of that is that none of those bands were established either. So I'm doing the same thing that I did.
Right. Well, that's a good, right.
So yeah, it's just kind of a cycle. You start a band, you do the deal, then you end that band and start another one, and hopefully wherever the last band left off leads you with a little bit of a head start in the groundwork for the next one.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
You didn't burn a lot of bridges on the way.
Yeah, that's
well,
the
Jamie Lin Wilson, after she busted up 12 clubs,
I heard she throws stuff around and
No.
Yeah, so that's just kind of how it goes in general, but it was interesting coming out of the Trishas into solo because it took a long time for me to get to where I wasn't Jamie Lin Wilson from the Trishas.
From the Trishas. Well, and I guess that's one of those things that's not necessarily a problem.
No, I didn't mind it, but now I'll be somewhere and somebody will say, "Wait, you were in a band before? What was that band?" Right. So it kind of between the first record, the first solo record that I put out, and the second one, it seems that they're rather than leaning on fans that I had made with previous bands, now there seems to be another group of people that are coming in. Yeah, so that's cool.
But it's also not like you went from doing roots country to death metal either.
Right, I didn't change genres. The music's mine still.
That's right. When I talk about how you got started, a little bit about how you got started making music and writing songs.
Well, I was in college and I got a guitar. I was at A&M. I was 19, got a guitar for Christmas, and kind of immediately, as soon as I learned some chords, started writing songs. Not with any intention at all, just because I was playing other people's songs, and then I started going, oh, these are some different words that I just made up some words. That's weird, and eventually I found my way into a circle of friends in College Station. That was a group of songwriters. Threw an open mic night there, and they encouraged me. We encouraged each other. We all grew together as writers. We formed a band, and I was learning how to do it on stage. Right. I was learning how to play guitar in front of people, which was nerve-wracking for me because that's not in my personality type.
That's not in the A&M personality at all.
That is not what I do in general. I hide until I master something, and then I come forward and I show it to you.
You come out, ta-da!
Look what I can do all of a sudden. I didn't just work 5 years on this. But yeah, it was a lot. And then I graduated college, and I was still in the same band. We made records. We just kept touring, and I just never stopped doing it. I never really stopped to think about what I was doing. I never stopped to go, I should make a career plan.
Right. That may be the best way to do it, you know.
I should have an end here.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
have an exit plan.
Some sort of a goal.
Yeah.
I should maybe have a goal in mind, but I never did.
Yeah.
I always thought that the things that that I have been able to do since were out of reach. You know, I remember trying to not set a goal so as to not fail at that.
Well, that's, you know.
So, but I think that I've changed over the years. Now I'm kind of going, okay, now what should I do? You know, trying to make some plans. But, you know, I did think that a whole lot of things were out of reach, certain festivals and certain gigs. And I played the Grand Ole Opry with the Turnpike Troubadours. That's kind of the thing in music.
Yeah, in certain parts, that's right.
In country music,
that's right.
You know?
In the country music, that's it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a fun ride.
All right, very good. Talking with Jamie Lin Wilson. Jumping Over Rocks is her new record, and she's working tonight at Thirsty Horse Saloon on Northwest Military Highway, opening for Wade Bowen. What time do you go on? I'll wait till you get a big drink of water.
I think I go on at 9:30. I think they were trying to say 10, but we're trying to push it.
Trying to push it. There you go, man. It's a school night. Well, how about doing the song live for us?
All right, I'll do that. This is a song called Run. How do you talk to a man who don't love you, to a man who don't listen to a word you have to say? Do you wait? Do you worry? Do you wonder what he's doing? Do you wonder if he'll leave or if he'll stay? How do you deal with the living and the dying, with the honesty and the lying, with the choices that he makes? Do you love him through the losing? Do you buy into the boozing? Do you try and reconcile his mistakes? Or do you run, 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 run? Do you run, 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 run? When it really hits the fan, do you still try to understand? Or do you paint him in a corner till he's crawling up the wall? Do you yell until your voice is gone, cry and try and carry on, blowing up the pieces as they fall? What do you think that he's gonna do? Treat you like you want him to? Turn around and call it all a dream? Well, you ain't dreaming and it ain't no fun. It's fight or flight until you're done. Lying ain't as scary as it seems. Oh, run, 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 run. Oh, run, 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 How do you talk to a man who don't love you, to a man who don't listen, to a man who don't love you? He don't love you. He don't love you.
Crowd went, Except for some of the guys in the audience said, "Wait a minute,
Wait a
that took a turn.
Hold
now,
on.
how could they do that?" Jamie Lin Wilson. Talking about now, you have an honest to God family. It's not like
I do have an honest to God
now,
family.
how many kids do you have?
4.
You have 4.
One of them's right in there.
Yeah, there's one there that's he ain't even old enough to get a job. That one, he just looked cute. Unless he's going to be, unless he has his own Instagram account, he
does not.
He could be a star.
He does not.
Now, where are you based now?
I live in D'Hanis.
D'Hanis, all right.
Yeah, which is just
They
out of
still
San
make
Antonio.
bricks there?
They do.
All right,
Yeah, I
D'Hanis
think they're
bricks.
just specialty bricks these
that's
days.
right.
But
Now, talk a little bit about balancing the family and the music business, because neither one of them are easy.
neither one are easy. And I think that, I don't know, I just kind of do it. I have a really, really good support system. And I live close to my husband's family, so they help out a lot. Everybody in Hondo and D'Hanis kind of picks up the slack when I'm gone. They give my kids extra hugs at school, and they help shuffle them around to soccer practices and gymnastics and things like that. And my mother-in-law lives next door, so that's handy. She can help with bath times and all that stuff if Roy needs it. He's a super dad, so there's that.
And he knew this going in, right?
He knew it going in. Yeah, we dated in college.
Yeah, so this didn't come as a surprise
right.
to him.
And we were married 5 years before we had our first kid,
Okay.
and I was gone for most of that.
So he knew you weren't going to. He knew this wasn't a
Right.
fad, a passing
Right.
fancy. So Roy went into it right.
He did, and then the babies. I bring the babies on the road,
Right.
so I'm doing my part too, and he's doing his part, and we all just kind of make it work. And
Now, do you think it's more difficult for women in the business? Because, if a guy's a musician and he and his wife have 4 kids and he takes off, it's like, oh, yeah, he's just punching in and going to work. But the little lady should stay home.
I think that if it is, we do that to ourselves with our own expectations of motherhood. And I do that. I do. The mom guilt thing is
it's real.
It's
Yeah.
real.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that if, I don't know, I've never been the man in the relationship, so
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But as the mom, the baby needs me.
Right.
And I need the baby also.
Right.
So he comes on the road with me for the first year at least, is what we've done so far. About a year is when they start staying home for a day or 2 at a time.
Right. Now, how old is your oldest?
8.
Now, did they know what you do, or do they care?
Yeah. Yeah, they know, and they also don't care.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
they think it's normal. They think it's cool. They know that they've done cool things now.
Right.
Now they understand that, now that they're in school, they know that not every kid gets to go on a trip with their mom to California
Right.
to go and play music festivals.
And sleep in a guitar
And
case.
sleep in guitar cases. And now they realize that it's out of the ordinary for most people, but it is ordinary for them.
Right.
It's
right.
all they
That's
know.
just what, yeah.
So, it's pretty interesting to listen to them talk to their friends
Right.
and to watch them describe what I do to their friends,
Although I find it interesting, several years ago I did an interview with Michael Bublé, and he and his wife, I think they had a kid at that time that was about 2 months old, and of course he could afford the tour bus and the wife and the kid. But I said, well, what happens? How does this impact you? He said, well. He said, I'll get done doing a sold-out show, adulation, people cheering. I walk on the tour bus. My wife hands the baby to me and says, it's your turn. It needs to be changed.
You're off work now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he said, doesn't take long. It doesn't take long when you change that diaper.
Yeah, just like when I'm home, if I'm not on the road, I'm at home being a housewife and working from home, doing myself, so I've got the baby all day. and another kid or two sometimes, or three. And when Roy gets off work, I do that. I'm like, and here's a kid. I'm leaving. I'll see you later.
I'm punching out.
I'll be out for an hour. I'm coming back.
That's what I'll be back.
You know, but yeah, and it is interesting being on the road with the baby, because I, just like him, just like he was saying, like, I go from mom mode to entertainment mode, back to mom mode, all within an hour and a half. Like, I have the baby on the side of the stage, like, trying to put him to sleep and you know, nursing a baby, whatever, at the bar, put him to sleep, lay him down, go on stage, you know, and then back. So it's it's interesting.
Now, were you part of the Pauline Reese tour? Wasn't there a tour called Hold My Baby and Watch This?
Yeah, I wasn't part of that, but I did say that.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's a pretty good name for tour.
Yeah.
Talking with Jamie Lin Wilson, jumping over rocks, not jumping off rocks as I saw it somewhere on there. Jumping over rocks. She's working tonight at the Thirsty Horse Saloon, 2335 Northwest Military Highway, opening for Wade Bowen for Wade Bowen's Christmas show. So, how about doing another one live for us?
Yeah,
and then we'll play something off the record.
Cool. I'll do this one that actually Wade and I wrote a song together that's off Holidays and Wedding Rings, and I bet we'll do this song tonight. But this is one that I probably shouldn't be going off script here, but this is one that Wade Bowen and I wrote together. It's called Just Some Things. Well, this motel room don't feel so good, at least not the way I thought it would. And your footsteps coming down the hall sound so big but feel so small. I never thought that I would be this kind. Is it too late for me to change my mind? 'Cause it's just some things you can't take back, like hurting the one you already have. Throw it all away for a kiss filled with regret. It's like running for the edge and thinking you'll fly, knowing damn well that it's suicide, and there ain't no way, there's only white and black. And there's just some things you can't take back. You know there ain't much more to life at all than memories hanging on a wall, and that flashing motel TV glow is telling me that it's time to go. And I don't know just who we think we are, and I keep wondering how we got this far. 'Cause it's just some things you can't take back, like hurting the one you already have. Throw it all away for a kiss filled with regret. It's like running for the edge and thinking you'll fly, knowing damn well that it's suicide, and there ain't no gray, only white and black. And it's just some things you can't take back. We should just slow down and be honest with ourselves, and think of why we're here instead of home with someone else. Because if we had the chance to do it all again, you know you'd choose her and I'd choose him. And there's just some things you can't take back, like hurting the one you already have. Throw it all away for a kiss filled with regret. It's like running for the edge and thinking we'll fly, knowing damn well that it's suicide. And baby, please don't look at me like that, 'cause there's just some things you can't take back. Yeah, there's just some things you can't take back.
Yeah, Jamie Lin Wilson, Just Some Things. That was from the Holidays and Wedding Rings CD, and the album version is with Wade Bowen and Jamie Lin Wilson. Working tonight, open for Wade Bowen at Thirsty Horse Saloon, 2335 Northwest Military Highway, and her new record is Jumping Over Rocks. Now, songs like that and even Run, do they disturb your husband when you play them for him?
No, I usually give him a warning. I'll say, hey, I just wrote this thing. You should probably come listen to it before you hear it in a bar.
don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Said Ernest Hemingway didn't do all the things that he wrote about.
Yeah, there's
Sylvia Plath. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
possibly. There's a certain amount of creative freedom that luckily I'm allotted.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think every song. I guess as a songwriter. Do you have to consciously try to not limit yourself?
Yeah. Like that first song I played, "Run." That song's about some friends of mine, like pretty specifically. I wrote it to them. Never showed it to them, so maybe they will have heard it now. Right. But he knew about that. So I was like, hey, look what I did last night. I wrote this song. And so, most of the things that are personal that I end up writing, he already knows about because I talk to him.
Right. Well, that's true. Even though you got 4 kids, you probably got little time to talk now and then.
That's the truth. I know. We sit there after the kids go to bed and just go,
Well, now, talk a little bit about your process as a songwriter, because as a songwriter and a mother of 4 kids, it's not like you have like you're sitting around 20 hours a day.
Right.
So.
Well, first thing is I haven't written a song since the 4th kid came, so I was only a mother of 3 kids whenever a lot of these came out.
So now you're through. It's just greatest hits packages. And
yeah, it's done.
Maybe get some gigs singing backup.
I hope so. Yeah, it's, I tried to do the thing where you sit down and write every day and try, and I couldn't do it. It made me, maybe I'll be able to do that once I have a little bit more time, but all that does for me is make me feel like I'm not very good, because everything.
But you can't do that to yourself.
Because everything that comes out is not very good.
Well, yeah.
If I sit there and try to force it out.
Right, exactly.
And so then I just think bad things about, I'm like, I suck. I'm never going to write again. It's horrible. All these songs are bad. So I just started waiting. I just wait until I think of something that's really cool and deserves to be finished. And that's not really the greatest advice to give writers, because I think that most people should be able to and I have been writing for a long time, so I have put in the hours of figuring out my style and honing what I like to do and all of that. It's not like I never practiced, because I did.
Right. And by this time, do you believe that quickly what'll work?
Yes. I know if something's worth chasing or not now. And if I was trying to write songs for other people and just needed output,
right,
it would be a different story.
Right,
but
exactly.
I'm not.
You're writing songs mainly
writing
for yourself.
For myself.
Right. And if somebody else covers them, yippee.
Then that's great. Yeah. But right now, at this point in my career, if I'm chasing something that's not, that I don't think that I'll really want to sing for the rest of my life, then I just don't chase it.
So, because songs are not unlike pictures on the wall or the wallpaper or a tattoo, you know.
Right.
I mean, you have to learn to, you know.
Right. And I'm proud of all the songs I've ever released. I'm happy with every single one of them. And if anybody asks me to play anything, like, I don't have one that I go, oh man, I wish I had. You know, like, I don't have any of those.
Right.
So I'm lucky in that regard.
Right.
But I have kind of honed in, and I've learned to trust myself and to not think. I used to think that if I don't write a song for 5 or 6 months, I'm done. And that's happened a lot, where I have not written anything. But now I just know that that's not true.
Right.
That it'll come again,
Right.
and I'll be able to do it again. You know?
There you go. Jamie Lin Wilson, the new record, the latest record, Jumping Over Rocks. The next gig tonight, about 9:30 p.m. Downbeat, Thirsty Horse Saloon, opening for Wade Bowen. And Thirsty Horse Saloon is at 2335 Northwest Military Highway. Got from the album, we've got The Being Gone queued up. Is there anything you want to say about this?
Well, this song is basically about what we've been talking about. It's the balance between home and being on the road. This was written at a pretty hard day. On a hard day, you know, when you go, is this worth it or is it not worth it? But yeah.
Here it is, Being Gone. Jamie Lin Wilson from Jumping Over Rocks, The Being Gone. Jamie Lin Wilson working tonight at the Thirsty Horse Saloon, opening for Wade Bowen about 9:30 p.m. and Thirsty Horse Saloon, 2335 Northwest Military Highway. And it's my pleasure to have Jamie Lin Wilson live in the studio. She's going to do one more track live. How can people find out more about you?
JamieLinWilson.com is a good place. It's Lin, you spell it Lin, Lin. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. I do all of that stuff.
All right.
Instagram is where I'm most active because it's my favorite, because I like pictures.
All right. So there you have it, Jamie Lin Wilson.
All right, I'm going to do the title track, I guess, from this record. The song's actually called Death and Life, but the title of the record came from this song. Got her legs crossed at her ankles and her purse down by her feet. She takes a look around and wonders how this came to be. The boy that's there beside her spit an image of the man who carried all the weight and built this house with his 2 hands. In 40 some odd years she never had to sleep alone. It's been 3 years in November, she still ain't bought a stone. Said I used to be a lover, but I still feel like a wife. That's the way that it goes in the game of death and life. A father always tries to treat a boy just like a man, and he saw his had a way to work through life with his 2 hands. He knew that he was dying, but before his days were done, after he said all his goodbyes, he asked one more thing of his son. Well, his old man died in April, and he went to build a box. Every nail and every board was a tear that never dropped. Then he had a baby boy born on the same day as his dad. So he took his name to give him. It's the best thing that he had. Souls, they move in circles as the generations pass, and the old ones hold the young as though the time will never last. And the dusk leads to the dawning as the darkness brings us light. That's the way that it goes in the game of death and life. All the children at the graveyard, they're just jumping over rocks. They're reading all the names on all the cemetery plots, soaking up the sun and wondering how it feels to die. That's the way that it goes in the game of death and life. Souls, they move in circles as the generations pass, and the young ones hold the old like it's the only thing they have. The dusk leads to the dawn, and as the darkness brings us light, that's the way that it goes in the game of death and life. That's the way that it goes in the game of death and life. That's the way that it goes.
Jamie Lin Wilson. I see that's how you write a song, kids. If your song ain't that good, don't throw it away. Just edit. That's just the first time I played that song. I almost couldn't back announce it. I thought I'm gonna break it. Song, and it's a good song.
Well, thank you.
So, Jamie Lin Wilson working tonight at Thirsty Horse Saloon, Northwest Military Highway 2335, opening for Wade Bowen. The new record, Jumping Over Rocks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I've got a cover queued up here that you did, Jumping Over Rock, the Guy Clark Instant Coffee Blues.
Yes, sir.
Featuring Jack Ingram.
I love that song.
So we were talking about this song. This is another one of those songs that's, like I say, I've always found this song disturbing because I felt bad for both of the people.
I know,
that's
always
thing,
both.
Man, nobody won.
Guy had that way of figuring out how to describe a character and nailing them, like getting it right.
This I always thought this song was the flip side of "Coat from the Cold." I thought those it's like book. He could have quit right then, but So,
but he didn't. And thank God.
Now, was it difficult for you to do this? You say you've been doing this song for a long time, right?
I have been. And as soon as the band started playing it, they all knew the song already too. Luckily, and so we decided to do it in the studio. And as soon as that first steel lick came through, I knew that it was going to be the right decision.
That's it.
Yeah.
Got it. Jamie, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Tonight, Thirsty Horse Saloon, 9:30 p.m., opening for Wade Bowen. Jamie Lin Wilson, Jumping Over Rocks, the new record.